everybody. I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott, and it's time for the Friday show for December 23rd, 2011.
Kicking it off and off the press. We're taking a look at some more trailers this week. We got Prometheus, the prequel Alien movie.
Yes, now there's going to be 5.
Yeah.
Which, if 4 wasn't enough.
Now we have 5.
Hopefully no Sigourney Weaver this time.
Yeah, we're also taking a look at The Hobbit, which is, just going to be too long.
I'm looking forward to
It's
the
going to end 24 and a half
But stuff
times.
will actually happen. It won't be pan shots of the forest the whole time.
Yeah.
Fill time.
And this was a leaf.
Yeah. And then, there's a 10-minute rebuttal about the leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Tech Insight this week, we're talking about GoDaddy getting in some hot water for endorsing SOPA, which really shouldn't have happened.
And if you don't know what SOPA is, just turn us off now.
Because you haven't watched, the last 3 episodes, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you should do.
Really. Then come watch this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then behind the lens this week, we're taking a look at 2 pieces of gear, budget Opteka slider, as well as the Jag 35 Field Runner rig.
Which, beyond, we both actually like.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Without further ado, it's time for Off the Press.
Hi everyone, welcome to Off the Press for this week. There's a lot of neat news.
There is some really neat news. We started off with 2 game articles. First off, PlayStation Vita launched in Japan this past weekend.
Woo!
Ooh!
I don't know how to feel about it.
Just in time for Christmas. It sold a little bit over 300,000 units
That's
in
pretty
2
good.
days. So, launch weekend.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's not quite as many as a 3DS, but we're not sure how sharp the drop-off is going to be after this holiday season.
So is this PS Vita, because I'm kind of out of the loop on this one, this is the one that
The
is
next-
just...
It's the new PSP, basically.
Yeah, it's the new PSP, but there's no discs, there's nothing like
No,
that?
I don't think there's discs.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Or cartridge of any kind?
Yes.
I guess
I'm not-
maybe what it should be.
I really should have looked this up before the show. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but it does look really cool.
Yeah. Is this the one that has the neat touchpad
Yeah,
on
it's
the
got
back?
the weird touch thing on the back.
That's kind of cool. I would
Yes.
play for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has those neat little ball rolling games, and I would have fun.
Ball rolling games. And that transitions us nicely to the next article. So the PS Vita is launching on February, I believe, 22nd? Yes, in North America. I believe it's the Friday before that in Europe, and most other
cool.
places they don't already have it. So most of Asia and Europe. And the launch titles for North America, there's some pretty exciting stuff. Most notably, there's a new Uncharted game coming out for it at launch.
Oh, that's cool.
There is also a Katamari game coming out
Oh boy.
at launch.
Touch my Katamari. That sounds dirty.
That sounds really dirty. There's also FIFA for you sports fans, Michael Jackson Experience, Plants vs. Zombies, Rayman Origins. Sounds awesome. Mod Nation Racers, and some other games that look pretty cool, and a lot of games will be released around launch time, so not exactly on the 22nd, but around that time is a lot of stuff similar to what the 3DS got, like
Oh, okay.
Asphalt and like some of the Lego games and stuff.
I notice here in the list they show Silent Hill Book of Memories. They should really just put Silent Hill 2 on the damn thing and just call it a quits for that franchise.
So some of these games here, we put a link in the show notes to the article, are PlayStation Network only, so that they're kind of smaller games. So they're going to start at about $10 and go up from there. Rumor has it some of the A-title games, like the Uncharted one, is going to be up to $50.
Holy crap.
Ouch. That's
Okay, I'm gonna just say
that's
right
like
now.
console money right there.
Yeah, and Plants vs. Zombies should
That's
definitely.
probably a $10 game.
That shouldn't be $10.
No.
I bought it for both of my
well,
phones.
for the DS, it's a $20 game.
Oh my god.
I know.
I'm just gonna stick to my phone then. I
Yeah,
don't need it
well-
on a larger screen. It's fine where it is.
Well, that's kind of where these guys are kind of having a tough time. Sony and Nintendo competing with the phone people who are. After that, I'm not paying $10 for a game.
Well, I wouldn't pay $10 for that game. It's a good game, but I wouldn't pay $10 for it.
No. But
So-
these are just the rumor prices right now. There's nothing set in stone yet. There's still lots of time between now and February 22nd.
Cool.
And I can't wait to get my hands on a demo of one of those because it looks really cool, actually. And going on to cool stuff away from video games into the realm of...
Trailers again. We have lots. Well, not
Eh.
lots. Like not as many as last time.
No.
Just 2.
It's trailer season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the first one is for The Hobbit.
The Hobbit, the first part of The Hobbit.
Yes, Hobbit Part 1. Unexpected Journey, I believe is what it was subtitled.
There's really not much to say about this trailer because it was exciting, but not the super fast punch exciting. It was
Yeah.
just kind of a, ooh, new Hobbit stuff, exciting.
It's kind of like
It's kind of a...
it doesn't show off the epic yet.
No, it's...
Like it's getting there.
Although, when I first heard the music, I was like,
Yeah, music's actually really well epic.
like the Lord of the Rings movies. The
Yeah.
music, amazing. So this
And-
trailer has me about as pumped as I was before, which is pretty pumped.
Yeah, I'd say like it's actually got me a little more pumped for it because I mean I really like the book.
Yeah.
The only thing is though, and this is possibly my one complaint with the movie,
Yeah.
is all the bloody songs or most of the bloody songs in the damn book are going to be in the damn movie. The first one you hear in the trailer, if you haven't watched it yet, go to our show notes. We do have the link.
It's probably
really
also playing
cool
right now.
Yeah, it probably is. And the actual song that they're singing, Misty Mountains, actually is going to be kind of cool, I
Yeah.
think. But it's the other ones I worry
I don't think
about.
they're going to do all the songs in their entirety, because there are some songs that are like 3 pages long.
Yeah. Oh my
So
god.
hopefully they'll just be snippets of songs that kind of fade into the next scene or something cool like that.
Yeah. I hope so.
And now for another trailer that you are kind of
I'm
watching
leery.
keen about. To preface this, I've never seen any of the Alien movies except for Alien vs. Predator, the one with the metric time, the kind of awful one.
That is not an alien movie.
No.
I refuse to even count that as any form of canon.
Excellent, because that was an awful, awful entertaining movie. Now moving back onto the world of Alien,
yeah.
this trailer has me pretty excited. It looks really scary,
Yeah, so this
but
is a trailer
a
for
really cool sci-fi thriller.
yeah, like it's a trailer for Prometheus, which is the prequel to the first Alien movie from 1970 something. So Ridley Scott is of course directing it again.
Yep,
Because
which
he
is
was
good.
hoping, yeah, it is good. He's hoping to revisit the universe of the Alien movies. So we're talking Sigourney Weaver, but she's not in this. This is like before they find the alien.
Well, I'm sure they're going to work
creature.
her into it somehow, maybe a cameo of some sort.
They can't though. How's she
Look,
going to fit
she
in?
can play another character.
I mean, if they're going to work her in, it's going to be at the end when they find the planet.
Okay, I'm thinking too Star Trek about this. Anyway.
Yeah, you really are, because it's not going to happen that way. And if
No.
it is, I hate you even more for making this movie.
What? Prometheus, Star Trek Voyager. Good episode.
Oh, God.
Good 2 episodes, actually.
My thing is, though, I am a big fan of the Alien movies, even Alien Resurrection, which isn't the best of them. Even the third one, which still isn't the best of them, but is still watchable. And that's why I denounce anything else after that, like the Alien vs. Predator series. Great games because they were arcade games and they made sense
Yes.
at the time. They did not need to become movies and then have more movies. Those needed to just stop, in my opinion. Some people like them. To your point of the metric time thing,
That
my
was
God,
the
that made me
stupidest-
so mad.
That's the stupidest, most awesome line in that movie.
And I saw that in the theater.
You paid for. Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
paid for
I'm
that,
so
and I was
sorry.
not happy. Anyway, though, so basically the story of Prometheus is humans figure out that we are actually, once again, basically designed from other aliens out there in the universe,
Yep.
thousands, millions, even billions of years ago. And they, of course, sit there and go, let us find our creators and meet them.
Yeah.
And you
And then
don't.
Craziness.
And basically, the insanity ensues. Why I don't like it is because it becomes humans have engineered the xenomorph alien. I don't like that. I don't like it because why doesn't anyone else on Earth know about the planet until after Ripley's team
I'm sure all
finds it?
your questions will be answered once the movie comes out.
Yeah, but I want them to be good answers.
Oh.
I don't want them to be crap. Like
No.
it's kind of like at the end of the new Thing remake. What happened to that chick? I'm sorry if I'm going to spoil this for anybody who was interested in seeing it. The chick
It's
survives.
like a 3-month-old movie.
Yeah, well, the chick survives, and they tied in the absolute end of the movie
Okay.
perfectly. They did that perfectly.
But with the dog running away and, and them
Exactly.
getting into a helicopter?
Exactly.
Cool.
But then there's the two Americans. What happens to them? Well, I know what happened to one of them, but what happened to the chick? She still gets to toddle away, but Into the Wild Blue Yonder never to be heard from again. I
Maybe
assume.
that's for the next movie.
I really hope not.
I hope not.
Because I have my own reservations about the thing.
Yeah.
I will still get it on Blu-ray because I still enjoyed it enough. But there's questions that they didn't
Yeah.
do right.
Anyway, coming back to
Yeah,
Prometheus.
back to Prometheus,
does
though.
this trailer make you want to watch it?
It does. As much as I have my reservations about it, I will still see this. I was scorned by the thing,
Yeah.
but I still want to see this because Ridley
Just-
Scott
just
is
go
once
into this with
again
an open mind.
Yeah, once again Ridley Scott is a really great filmmaker,
Yeah.
really great director.
Yeah.
And I want to see what's going to happen with this because it's kind of like whether it works or not, I don't care.
Like
I will
I-
still pay to see it.
Like I said before, this looks like a really good sort of scary sci-fi thriller. So.
Yeah, like the actual trailer is amazing. I will definitely give
Yeah.
them that. And the movie looks like it should be amazing,
Mm-hmm.
at least visually. So
Nah, excited.
when it comes out, I'll definitely have a very long-winded review.
Yes, he will. And moving on to this week's new releases, the one I'm so super excited about,
So am I.
The Adventures of Tintin. Yay!
Anyone who, I remember watching the cartoon as a kid, and that's how I
liked
got
the
introduced.
cartoons. I read
and
the
loved
comics in elementary school.
it. Yep.
I read the
And-
comics recently too.
Oh, really?
Fun stuff, yeah.
Oh, I should reread them. Also, there's The Darkest Hour, which is about energy aliens.
Energy aliens and like Russia
Oh, no.
or
All right.
Germany.
Yeah, it's somewhere in Europe anyway.
Somewhere set in Europe. It looks interesting, although it's kind of set as like a teen drama.
Yeah,
But
and
the concept looks really cool. Just watch the trailer, see if you like it. Maybe I'll watch it on cheap night.
I've seen the trailers, and I've already come up with a solution to get rid of the aliens. But I won't go into that.
And up next is A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, the North American remake.
Which
This one,
I'm excited to see.
I've seen the original movie.
hmm
And judging by the trailers for this, it looks like a really good adaptation.
I've been talking to people who've actually seen it, at least in the like in those press
Previews?
screeners and all
Yeah.
that, and they're very impressed. And
Mhm.
I want to see it because I haven't read the books, but I've read a lot about them,
Yeah.
and I've got friends who've actually read it, and apparently the movies have been great, so I
Mhm.
want to check them out. Coming up next is, I don't know why we have another one, but War Horse.
Free what's in the brackets.
Oh my god. So War Horse, totally not starring Sarah Jessica Parker in the title role.
Apparently, this is good.
You'll get it. I don't really understand the premise of it. It's like kind of like Hidalgo again.
Mhm.
It's like another horse movie.
It's
except
really.
epic-ish. World War One.
A lot of reviewers say it's a really good, heartwarming movie if you're
But
into that sort of thing.
Why do these movies come out at Christmas with horses?
People like horses.
Okay.
Much to my dad's disappointment, I never got into horses. Moving on to DVD and Blu-rays. Futurama, Volume 6.
Have to pick it up.
Looks pretty good.
Yep. And also Columbiana, which I haven't seen yet, but apparently Zoe Saldana does a really great job in this movie.
This is one that I unfortunately missed in the theaters. So
Yeah, it was one of those ones that I missed as well.
I'll
and-
probably end up watching this at some point over the holiday.
Yeah.
And finally, in new release games, Star Wars The Old Republic for the PC.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of it. If I was into those games, I'd definitely buy it.
It's WoW with lightsabers.
It is, and you know what? It's fun. If you just accept it for what it is, just go with it. It's okay.
I picked it up on Tuesday. Well, I picked it up, I held a copy in my hand. Started looking at the minimum requirements. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can't. No. Nope. All right, putting this down.
Yeah,
walking away.
you definitely want to go above the required.
Oh,
The stuff
yes.
that they recommend, go above it because it really is a hog. It's a real
Mm.
pig. But otherwise, on that note,
Yeah.
kind of heavy in games, of course, and quite a few Blu-rays, but
Mhm.
that wraps it up for this week for Off the Press.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Insight. We're doing some more SOPA news this week. We've been talking about a lot because it's been big in the tech world news right now.
Yeah, kind of threatening. It is on hold, so it's not going to go back to vote until like late January now or something like that. So at least we get a delay time for some more expert witnesses to get in there.
There was an interesting title I had seen for an article saying it's no longer okay for Congress to not know what the internet is.
Well, that's
because
the thing.
it used to
Yeah.
be the case where we'd be like, George Bush thinks the internet's this, and so and so thinks the internet's a series of tubes, or it's on the back of a pickup truck, because they weren't making any big decisions that really affected things. But now that they're making huge decisions, not knowing how the internet works is not okay.
No.
So it's kind of good that it's being delayed, because it means that hopefully they're putting some more thought into this.
Yes.
In the right ways.
Now, what we're talking about today is the massive complaint that the internet had against GoDaddy,
Yeah.
which at one point was a very popular domain registrar.
One of
and
the most popular.
Now, in the last couple of years, they've just done a pile of things that have just
That
put
have
everyone-
gotten them in trouble, yes.
I mean, they used to be an advertiser for us, and
Yeah.
then not anymore. And on top of that, they did, the CEO did something about hunting.
He went out and shot some elephants or something like
yeah,
that.
and he was like, "Yeah, that's what I do."
It's how I roll.
Anyway, So GoDaddy officially supports SOAP. Well, at least they did until today. So
Because everyone on Twitter just caught fire and was so mad at GoDaddy for supporting
especially
this.
since really the last person who should be supporting this is, a domain registrar, because this is where a lot of it is going to come into effect. Is they'll be like, hey, GoDaddy, take this domain offline.
Yeah.
So if GoDaddy's supporting it, it just makes everything faster for everyone. The government can take these 20 sites down, and GoDaddy will be like, sounds good, government, let's do that.
Yeah.
And then
Then we'll have martinis later.
yeah, so really, and it's their business that's being affected directly, right?
Yeah, which it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No. So everyone was outraged by this. So far to where they were saying December 29th is the Ditch GoDaddy Day.
Yeah.
Where you should, take your domains, go to one of the other domain registries, and there's lots.
Yes.
And, they're all about $10 a domain usually. So it doesn't really matter where you have them registered. I don't know that we're necessarily going to leave them. It's a lot of
No.
work to transfer your domains.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, the person to me who really hates SOPA wants to leave GoDaddy. And also because I find their payment schemes are confusing sometimes. But that's a whole other story. But then the realist in me is like, it's just not worth the time
No, I don't give
for
them money.
for the less than $40 a year that company gets for the couple of domains I have parked.
Yeah, no. But they came out. The CEO came out today, which is kind of strange because usually there's a media conference with their PR guy. The CEO came out and says, "Whoa, we don't support SOPA."
Yeah.
But it's kind of like this back alley not supporting, because the PR people at GoDaddy have come out and said, yes, we do, and these are the reasons why, and we kind of, they helped form it a little bit. And
Yeah,
the
and
CEO's like, after all the backlash, wait, guys, no, forget that.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that, they're coming out right now and saying they don't support it, but from what we've been hearing on the internet is they were one of the people to help create it in the first place. So it seems kind of odd for them to be like, we want this. Oh, shit, people are upset. Okay, no, we don't want this.
I'd kind of almost rather them be honest about it
Yeah.
and not be like, we don't support it, but really we do.
Yeah.
Because at least you know where they stand, especially since they're the ones who have the easy access to your domains.
And ultimately that final power to flick off the light switch.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. So, that's interesting. If you want to jump on board, the 29th is apparently the Ditched GoDaddy Day, if that's what you're into.
If you want to spend your time migrating your domain names.
Like right after Christmas, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot better things I could be doing with my time.
Absolutely. But there's lots of domain registrars out there who don't officially support SOPA. So,
That's true.
If you're into that.
And so talking about CES, because that's right around the corner.
Yeah, wow, it really is.
Yeah, we're seeing another major player take a step out of the CES game, and that's Microsoft.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing their last keynote this year. Apple left a couple years ago. So we're starting to see a lot of people being like, you know what, we're done.
And you know what? I'm not really surprised.
It's true.
Microsoft's always been a big presence at CES.
Yeah.
Which is kind of going to be interesting to see what a CES without them is like, because they've always had, the big booth. They've been one of the keynotes. They've always had Ballmer, or well, I guess Bill Gates, but Ballmer's always a more entertaining keynote.
Because he sweats a lot and yells.
Yeah, pretty much. Or
Yeah.
embarrasses the company. But
Frequently.
we're just so used to this giant, what's Microsoft, even though if it's not something exciting.
Yeah.
We always hear more about Windows 7 and more about, what's coming for Windows, even if it's not coming out that year. They're like, this is what we're working on. The Xbox, even though they have E3, there's still been, a lot of, little accessories and things, or where Xbox is going.
Yeah.
So you get a good insight into what Microsoft wants to do at CES. And to be honest, they could just do that at their own thing.
It's true, and so much like why Apple originally left is they were basically saying this schedule doesn't line up with the release of products for us. So we're either coming up with halfway information or we're rushing something to completion. And that's why Apple left. They said we really don't have things done by January. And obviously that's worked out well for Apple because their cycles are in their own time frame and everyone's still buying their products.
And the thing is, with Microsoft, they're a big player.
Absolutely.
So they can go do their, even if they didn't have a convention like CES kind of is, if they had, a press event like Apple does, which Microsoft kind of already does sometimes, if they just had that instead when stuff's ready to be released, everyone would still go because it's Microsoft.
It's true.
They're releasing important products, whether you want to like them or not. Windows 8's a big deal. The new version of Office is a big deal. It'll make lots of money, and everyone will start using it.
Yeah, Microsoft certainly doesn't have to worry about the catering going to waste.
Yeah, and the thing is, all the little guys need to go to CES because if they have a media event, no one will show up or care.
It's true.
But when they go to CES, every tech blog and their little brother is there covering everything.
And everyone, that's a chance for all the smaller cell phone companies to get thrown in the lineup with the bigger
Yeah.
cell phone companies and the small tech companies to make a, the page. We saw this cool television by Sony, but this cool television by Jingzhong Wangsu
Yeah.
was,
Or,
pretty interesting too.
And you get massive coverage on accessories and stuff.
Yeah,
So you
definitely.
could definitely break into the market if you come with an impressive setup of small, a small setup of good products to CES. It's a good place to break into that if you're a small company. But if you're a big player, CES is just annoying.
Yes.
I could see Microsoft PR going, why the hell do we have to do this?
Yeah.
So not really surprising, but they will be here this year. And from what we've heard, nothing exciting at the keynote. Like almost always, because who releases stuff right after Christmas? Oh, that's right, nobody. So
Except for camera manufacturers.
yeah, but they just do what they want, really.
It's true.
They just arbitrarily, new camera's out. Here you go. Same camera, different grip.
Yeah.
$200 more.
Looking at you, Canon.
So apparently they're going to talk a little bit more about Windows 8, which we already know a decent amount about. And
It'll involve panels.
and that's about it because Windows 8's not ready yet. So yeah, not going out with a bang, but I'm not. I've stopped watching CES coverage except for when I have to put the show together
Yeah, and I just basically want to see what new cameras are coming out.
because it's all
That's
like,
about all CES would be for me now, because most of the electronics never see the light of day.
well, because we don't follow phones unless they're iPhones, really.
Yes.
To be fair, there's one a year, so it's easy to do.
Yeah. And if we followed Android phones at CES, we'd have 700 to review.
Yeah, and if you
So-
followed processors, you'd never have anything to review.
Yes.
So, yeah, not a big surprise there. And I don't think CES will be any different without Microsoft necessarily. It might be better, actually, to not have the big player taking up a keynote.
Yeah, it's true. More light for the little
Or
guys.
really, hopefully they don't. I just don't want to. They better not make Sony's keynote longer because Sony's keynotes are terrible.
Look at this flexible display.
That will never release. Next up, we're talking about a little mobile news and little Apple spice, just before Christmas, because that's what we do. Apple actually got an injunction starting next year against HTC Android phones.
Yes, over a very minute bit of usage,
Yeah.
which is the underlining of, or the underlining and linking capability of things like dates and addresses and phone numbers in
Yeah.
text messaging.
So if I text you my phone number, you can click it and it'll call me.
Or it'll open the web page
Yeah.
or whatever.
So which I just thought was a thing but Apple has the patent and it's actually fairly clearly worded,
yes.
which is good for Apple.
I'm fairly certain that the patent writers at Apple are paid well.
I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're going to be a patent writer, you better design a big salary because those are terrible jobs. But basically, they've said HTC you can't sell these specific phones, and I think it's phones with Androids like 1 point something to 2.2.
Yeah, it's like the Evo 4G and the Galaxy Nexus. Or
It's
not
very
the Galaxy Nexus,
it's-
but they're
Well, that's a Samsung
yes,
phone. So.
something.
Yeah, there's a bunch of phones, but it's only for certain versions of those phones because newer updates don't have it or they have a different implementation of it.
Yeah.
So it was a big win for Apple, actually, and a fairly clear-cut win that kind of opened the door to, we can go sue every other Android manufacturer because we won this so easily.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them have that implementation.
I don't know phones that don't let you do that.
Yeah,
Which
so-
is kind of the weird thing.
Well, it just makes sense, right?
Yeah, which,
But apparently, what came out today was HTC actually has a patch
yes.
that they're not saying exactly what the patch does, but the court has said that if they ship out that patch, they can sell their phones.
Yeah.
I don't know if it removes the functionality entirely or just does it in a
Which would
slightly
suck.
different way.
Well, so it's probably not going to remove it because that would be annoying.
I imagine it wouldn't, yeah.
And then, I would make sure not to update my
Just
Android
puts a box
phone.
around it or something. I don't know.
What is it you sent? Scott, you sent me something. I just see this blacked out box. What is going on here?
Click it and find out. No.
I got rickrolled.
So if you're really looking forward to an HTC phone next year, you can still look
Now,
at
what
it.
was weird was that HTC responded to this by saying, "We feel it's a win for us."
Yeah, I
which,
didn't get that.
Which I don't understand. Like, it's someone had a really lot to drink before they wrote that PR response.
Clearly.
Because they were like, "It's a win, and we'll fit." Like, how is this?
Now
a
we
win?
have to pay our software engineers to fix a problem that never was a problem.
Yeah.
instead of paying them to develop better software.
But we're going to tell you that's a win, so you think we're a better company. I don't know. It's weird.
HTC's that quiet player, so maybe they're just not used to having to say things.
Yeah, well, now when you click it, it's going to turn into a 3D hollow matrix.
That's a big transition. I think
it's just a firmware update.
they should go patent that
Just a firmware update.
and sue Apple later.
The
6 years.
screen's been able to do it forever. They just didn't let anyone do it.
Oh, I see.
They're waiting for Apple to sue so they can be like, "Oh, blam!
Yeah, we got this.
holographics!"
And Apple will be like, no, we don't need that. We still sell more phones.
Yeah, it's true.
And then they'll release. It's a win for HTC.
It's the Siri that you put in your brain. You just think, "Oh, hey, look, it's calling that person I was thinking about."
Yeah, I don't know. Need any of that. Last but not least, Canadian news for the week. Yeah. We've talked a lot about Win Mobile and Mobilicity and Public Mobile coming into the mobile space in Canada.
Yes.
And with these cheap plans. Turns out that's not profitable.
Not when there's 3 small companies.
So with the CEO of Win Mobile for Canada has now the investor of Win Mobile came out a while ago. He's the guy from that big Egyptian company. He came out and he said, "I don't even know why I started Win Mobile. This
Pyramids
is
are us?
This is terrible." Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, let's start a cell phone company in Canada."
Yeah.
Anyway, he came out and said, "I don't even know why I funded this. I
My
regret
pyramids
it.
were doing great. Why did I get cell
I
phones?"
regret entering the market entirely because Bell and Rogers and Telus just have way more customers, and there's just not that." So now the CEO has come out and said, "Well, you know, with our deals that we're giving, we're not making money,
Yes.
which to be a company you should.
Yeah. It's helpful.
To still exist."
Yes.
So they're predicting that out of the 3 there will be some purchasing. Or
Yeah, there's been some large predictions that Win will buy out Mobilicity.
That would be interesting because those are actually the big 2.
Yes.
Except Public Mobile has more money than Mobilicity.
Yeah.
And there's been talk that Public Mobile will buy Mobilicity. So really, I think Mobilicity is going away.
Someone is buying Mobilicity.
Yeah.
Whether it's Wind or Public Mobile.
because-
now, the upside to this for consumers, though, is that what's likely going to happen is that the companies will merge. They'll still offer competitive plans, but now there's going to be better service because they have twice as much towers all of a sudden.
Yeah, in the same areas though. So
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen spotty service
Yes.
in a
in a metropolitan
suburban area. And
So it's a win-lose, and depending on what frequency who has, that could get confusing too. I think
Yeah, I guess.
most of them are on AWS.
I believe so.
I'm not sure about Public Mobile. We don't have that here anyway. In Ottawa, it's in Toronto. But I think that could be good. But again, just if they have 2 companies offering cheap deals and aren't making money, and then now they're one company offering the same cheap deals, they're not going to make money.
I wonder what would happen if the company stopped existing and people still had phones on their tab. If they would just be like, "Well, we can't offer you service, so enjoy your phone."
Yeah, well, they couldn't get you to pay it.
Yeah.
I don't think. But I mean, they've been offering this like $29.99 deal where you get unlimited everything,
Which is pretty awesome. for
which is
$30.
ridiculous because that's unlimited data.
Yeah.
It's unlimited long distance, unlimited text, and you're like, and all their plans come with caller ID. To get that on Bell or Rogers, you'd be paying $900 a month.
Exactly $900.
Yeah, no more, no less.
Yeah.
Fees included. But that's just it doesn't. It makes and they're building infrastructure to try and catch up with the giant companies that own everything.
Although I feel like at this point, although they're not making money, it's kind of expected because they haven't been around long enough to have the infrastructure they need, and because they don't have the infrastructure they need, they haven't quite got the number of people they have.
That's the thing is, I think if they build a decent enough client base, they can maybe bump plans up a bit or stop offering the really, really aggressive plans. Because all those, like that $30 is only for a year.
Yeah.
And you go up to the 45 or whatever,
Yeah.
which is still a good deal.
Yes.
So if you can get enough people in that first year and then keep them on,
Yeah.
then you can start paying back your infrastructure and start turning a profit.
And if you built enough infrastructure, you're not going to get people like, "Well, I tried Wind Mobile, and then the service was spotty,
Yeah.
so I left them." Now their friends will be like, "No, I have Wind Mobile, and it's really good." And then their friends will be like, "All right, well, that's cheaper. I'm going to get it."
But then it becomes a risk because you need to have enough money
Yeah.
invested in your company to last until you can start turning profits by building up your customer base.
Sure.
So that's why they're thinking if someone buys out somebody else, they'll last longer because
Yeah.
it's more cash in the same pool.
the more fuel for the fire.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll definitely cover if there's any mergers and things like that because that's the only exciting thing in our mobile industry because Rogers, Bell, and Telus suck the life out of everything.
Yay! And that brings us to the end of Tech Insight for this week.
Walk behind the lens for this week. We've got 2 pieces of gear review for you today, since it's the end of the year.
We haven't reviewed anything in a
No,
while.
we've been talking a lot of news, a lot of nothing, because it's that time of year.
We're hopefully gonna have some new cameras in the new year.
Probably, yeah. With CES coming.
We'll get some of the J1 and the X10 and the GX1 and stuff on the show soon.
So, if you are looking to make your video shots a little more dynamic, you want to add a little more something than your tripod movements.
It's true.
Always a good option. We've got a slider here. We reviewed our Canova slider a while ago.
Yeah, which was around $350 shipped, just to put a price point in perspective.
It's a little larger than this, but similar.
But what we're talking about here is really for someone who doesn't want to blow a lot of cash on a slider, but still wants something that isn't garbage. And so this is the Opteka slider. It comes in 2 varieties. This is the 23-inch, which the first thing is it's incredibly light.
Very light.
And you can take the little feet off, so it packs down fairly small. It'll fit in most backpacks and easily in carry-on luggage if you're traveling. So it's a lightweight, easy slider to bring with you. And then they also have a 47-inch rail, which is incredibly long. I mean, it's more than double this length. And it's only $50 more to get double the length, which is a really good price point. So what's neat about this guy is that it's $150. So it's fairly approachable price point if you want to get into a slider.
Yeah, for the slider market, from the stuff we've looked at, the stuff we reviewed on the show, it's really bottom end price-wise, but it's actually...
It's fairly decent performance-wise.
I wouldn't call it bottom end. It's not a bargain slider.
So this is what's called an Ingus rail slider, because instead of using ball bearings like the Canova we reviewed and the Cinovate stuff that we reviewed last year, this is using basically some plastic friction in a tube, and it just uses friction to slide as opposed to ball bearings.
Yeah, so this is just aluminum, and there's plastic fittings inside that.
So because of that, it's relatively smooth, but it's not as glidey as it would be if it was ball bearings.
Yeah, there's a little more resistance to movement. It's not like...
And if you lift it, it does a pretty good job, but it's not quite as linear because it has to fight its own friction as opposed to bearings, which are just going to naturally want to roll. But because it doesn't have any of the ball bearings and it's all made out of aluminum, it's super light. You still have a brake on it, so you can lock this down. It won't go anywhere. And the 23-inch is actually, there's got very little flex in it, so you probably could put a pretty decent amount of weight on it. The 47-inch, however, because it's aluminum...
It's literally this, just about twice as long, and there's still only a foot on each end.
Yeah, so you'll get a little bit more sway in the middle than you will with a higher-end, solid block slider. But again, for only $50 more for more than twice the length, that's a pretty good deal. So
and if you're shooting with like a GH2 or something,
or like a Canon Rebel, or even like a 5D, if you don't have a full kit of follow focus and map box and everything, you wouldn't have any issues with weight. So at $150 for this guy and $200 for the 47-inch, they're both really great options if you want to get into a budget-based slider. And I actually find the performance pretty good. The cartridge slides pretty well. You've got a mounting point at the bottom to put a tripod thread. Unlike the Canova, which had tripod mounts at both sides, this guy really can't do the standing up thing unless you hold it on your own. But then, they thought of some other stuff, like if you need to tighten down the threading for the ball head or whatever you put on here, you can get at it from the bottom. And the legs themselves act as the brake. So when you take this apart, you want to be careful because it will slide right off the rails. But the legs themselves act as the brake.
And it's not going to break. It's 2 pieces of aluminum. It's very simple construction.
Yeah.
But it's going to be durable, which is good. So
so we definitely recommend this if you're looking for something in the budget range to get a slider. Slider shots can add a lot of dynamic opening and closing of scenes, moving in on items, stuff like that. So having a cost-effective, fairly lightweight and portable slider, even if it's just something like the 23-inch guy here, definitely give you some extra options when you're doing some filming.
For sure. Speaking of lightweight, the second piece of gear we've got today is the Jag 35.
Yes.
I was going to say 65. Jag 35 rig. Now, we reviewed Shape rigs, we reviewed Cinovate rigs. This is a little bit of a different take because it is entirely modular.
Yes. So Shape does make some full cinema rail systems. But you're looking at spending around $800 plus for that. And this is the Jag 35 Field Runner. It's got some additional pieces. Obviously, we've mounted our camera. We have our defocus on here. We've got one of our T-pod stands to mount our microphone. And we've got an H1 on here. So there's a couple of extra pieces on here. But the rig itself, without the handle and without the little extra mounting pieces, starts at around $279. Which is pretty well priced for a cinema rail based system, and that includes the handles, that includes the shoulder pad, as well as the camera mounting system. And what's nice about these guys is they give you a fairly decent amount of options when you're building the rigs as to whether you want a raised offset block and whether you want to attach a handle and what kind of front handles you want. So you really can spec it out the way you want to. And then we purchased a couple of additional connecting pieces, which was a single rail block attachment and a double rail block attachment so that we could mount some other stuff to it. So the first thing about it is it's really light.
Super light.
So we have the shape rigs, which we use with our bigger HMC40s when we're running a full rig, but they can be too much for our GH2 when we want to shoot with it.
Absolutely.
Where it's heavier than it would be to do something else, so we just don't put the GH2
And especially
on
if
the
you're
rig.
going to be, if you need to be doing focusing yourself,
Yeah.
to have to wear the shape rig, which is a lot of weight, to have to control that while trying to focus is a lot.
Yeah.
So to have something a lot like, I can comfortably lift this and hold it with one hand.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to, and plus the shoulder balance, so it's actually, it's strong and it's strong enough,
Yeah.
but you don't have that extra weight, so it works out.
Now, because it's cinema rails, you do have the advantage of it working with all kinds of different parts. So we took our shape rails, which are hollow, so they're a little bit lighter than the Jag 35 rails, although not as robust. But we replaced all the rails on it with our shape rails, which saved a little bit of extra weight. And then the other thing is that the shoulder pad here has sort of a cheese plate design to it, so you've got a bunch of quarter 20 threads to it. So we were actually able to take our 4-pound shape counterweight and attach that to the back without needing anything special. We just threaded it on like we would the back of our regular shape rig. And what's nice is because the rig is so light, with that 4-pound weight, it pretty much takes all the weight off your hands.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't balance itself. You can't let go of the camera, but it's so much so that you just kind of feel like all you're doing is keeping this in place as opposed to actually lifting it up.
Yeah, so, it's a lot easier to hold your shot longer, and it's a lot easier to, make smooth motions and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's the thing I like most about it is how quick and easy it is to move around.
Yeah.
When you gave it to me to try on with after you fitted all the gear, you and I are not the same size.
Yeah.
Right? I have it a little bit further away than you do or whatever, 5 seconds and it's
Yeah.
adjusted. The shape rig's a little more involved. Not all of them, but the one we have is.
Well, that's always the thing is when we're showing people our shape rig, because, we like to show off the gear and talk about it and stuff like that. It's always an effort of being like, here, lift and take. Whereas this is kind of like, yeah, hold this.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to pick up and go with. The handles, you can get the handle with it, which makes it easier for shooting some low-down shots. All the handles are all on cinema rails, so everything can be adjusted. And the thing I like about it, too, is because we already had some shape rails, we're able to sort of take this entire thing apart and build a different rig if we want to. We can make a straight rig out of it. We can make a single shoulder mount, one-handle run-and-gun rig if we want to. And because it's all cinema rails, our follow focus works. We could put a matte box on it. We can use other shape gear on it. We can use Cinemate gear on it, all that kind of stuff. So it does work in that cinema system.
And it's really easy to go and attach all your accessories, right?
Yeah.
We got the H1 on there. If you had, battery packs or whatever, you want to mount a monitor, super easy because tons of places to mount stuff on top of the fact that there's cinema rails.
Yeah.
Build the entire kit.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, for the what you pay for it, the quality is really good.
Yeah, it's all milled aluminum. It's all nice and black and everything like that. And even I was skeptical about the orange, but it's not super bright, so I actually kind of like it.
No, it's
So overall, we definitely recommend that this is the Shape Field Runner. The rest of the rigs are built from similar pieces, so I would assume the quality is going to be roughly the same, just a different configuration. So we definitely recommend checking out Jag 35
Absolutely.
For their rigs if you're looking for some budget-based cinema rail systems. And that brings us to the end of Behind the Lens this week. And that brings us to the end of the show this week, as per usual. If you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us on Twitter at @almost_Friday.
Or if you're a little more old-fashioned, you'd like to write us an email, you can do so at contact@almostfridayshow.com.
You can also follow us on Facebook. Type in the Almost Friday Show in that search bar up at the top, and you can find us.
If you could actually figure out how to navigate Facebook. I have problems because, every other week it's a different thing. Yeah.
I'm waiting for it's the Facebook timeline now. I'm waiting for the Facebook time machine.
No, that's
where
too much.
where Facebook's going to predict where my life is in 10 years. God, that's a terrible. I want to see it because it'd be interesting, but then I won't want to see it because it'll be terrible.
And then just let's just
Facebook will invent that, and then the internet will implode on itself.
more or less,
Yeah,
almost instantaneously. Have a Merry Christmas from all of us at the Almost Friday Show.
absolutely. Because hopefully, maybe you're watching this on Christmas Day because you got nothing better to do.
Yep, yeah. If you are,
If you've made it this far,
then good work. And stay tuned next week. We're going to do kind of a reflection show. What happened this year?
there'll be lots of mirrors involved.
Yeah, maybe some crying. No,
Yeah.
probably not.
Wow. I'll
Maybe.
punch Sean once or twice.
Oh, okay, for good measure.
Yeah, well,
all right.
again, someone's
Someone's
got to
gotta
cry.
cry, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, that won't happen.
Merry Christmas.